Have you always wanted to flip a house? Well, I want to introduce you today to two incredible people who are doing just that. They're flipping their first house here in Calgary, and it's going to be going on the market in a couple weeks. So sit back, grab some popcorn. We're going to go on an interesting journey about how to flip a house for the first time here in Calgary right after this. Hey everybody, my name is Jared Chamberlain, and I am here today with two incredible people, friends. We've known each other a long time. And they're flipping their first house. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Who are you, and why are you doing this? So go ahead.
So I am Courtney Jewell.
I'm Paul Jewell.
And you guys are married to each other?
We are married to each other.
Congratulations.
17 years this year?
Yeah, 17 years.
I know. And the crazy part is we were at each other's weddings.
We sure were.
So it's been a long time.
It's been a journey.
Ours has been fine. What's wrong?
Ours has been great.
So you guys are flipping your first house.
We are.
How long have you wanted to do this?
Long time.
This was since we were first married.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we have talked about doing this for a very long time. So we've put a lot of work into it, and yeah.
And I feel like as the years have gone on, we've really built up our skill set to be able to achieve something like this.
So what skill sets have you developed? Like, because I think a lot of people always think it's like owning a restaurant. A lot of people think that owning a restaurant is kind of like this sexy dream. And I think like working in real estate is another one of those sexy dreams. And you get to drive around a fancy car, and you love architecture, and that's why you sell houses. That's not why. And flipping a house is another one of those things, right? TV really glamorizes it, and like, yeah.
They do, and it seems like it's very easy to just turn over a house in a 23-minute television show program.
That's right.
And the reality of that is very different.
Oh, so you found it's different.
It's definitely different. Okay. It's longer than 23 minutes.
The paperwork of the lawyer takes longer.
Exactly, yeah.
So the skill sets, you were talking about that. So what are some of the skill sets over the years that have led you to kind of go, now's the time, let's do this?
Well, I started my own company in 2005. Carpenter, finishing carpenter. So working with builders, being in the industry, just seeing how things are done. I've always had an interest in doing my own project and taking something on.
And you are incredible at what you do.
Thank you.
You are.
And then just having Courtney be on board with it as well, being like, yeah, we could do this. And so
I guess that was the first hurdle, right? Is like getting your wife involved in the process and having her say yes, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And then it just took a while to get the finances lined up.
Yeah.
We definitely wanted to try and do this on our own. And it's just something that took a lot of sacrifice, took a lot of time. Yeah. And like I said, I started my company in 2005. Here we are in 2021 doing our first one. So it just takes time, have a goal. We set our mind to it and we did it.
So when you say doing it on your own, because there's lots of, obviously it all takes money. So when you're saying doing it on your own, what does that mean to you?
To me, it just means not relying on a lot of outside help. So yes, I brought in a few other trades along the way, but this project in particular, I really wanted to try and do a lot of it myself. Yeah. Pulled my own permits, got my own inspections and whatnot.
And even fund it too, right?
And fund it, yes. Yeah. It was just, I don't know. I just wanted to have the control, I guess, of everything.
Well, it's like any business, I think. When you start out something and you're trying to learn it, you want to know the steps and the processes, because then now you know what you need someone else to do in the future, and you can explain it clearly, right? Yeah. So like for us too, as you're building, it's really important that way. So that's cool.
Even for timelines, I think that was something that was a real surprise to us in some ways, is just the length of time it takes when we are the ones doing the majority of the work. Yeah. So we did the majority of the work on this property, and I think it was really interesting to see how our timeline was extended. Yeah. But some of that was extenuating circumstances that we just couldn't control, just like the pandemic and all of that.
Oh, you're jumping ahead. The pandemic, what's that? That's interesting. So let's go back to, because you said ever since you first got married, all that kind of stuff, like what was that driving force and why did you want to flip a house? Like what was appealing about that? Because some people would be freaked out.
Right.
And others are drawn to it, right?
Totally. And it's probably more work than people realize. But I knew we had a history of proving that we could. So we extensively renovated our own house when we bought it. That was a house that was a 1993 classic. The honey oak everywhere, beautiful forest green countertops and wallpaper everywhere. Yeah. And we gutted the 2 top main floors to make it work for our family. Yeah. So in that, I knew that we could do it. Yeah. And then we've extensively renovated a property in Bowness for Paul's parents, and it's a beautiful little bungalow. So I always knew we could, and I just think it came down to we love functional spaces for families. Yeah. That's what we love. We love making our house functional for us as a family of 5. Great storage, smart design for rooms that people will use. Yeah. So I feel like there's so many properties out there that are designed poorly. Yeah. And so for us to be able to walk in and put our touch on it, that's what we want to do. That was our dream. Yeah.
No, that's cool. So through this process, what is surprising to you for your first flip? So what has come up that you're kind of like, I didn't think that would be like that?
Honestly, the amount of hours, the amount of working man hours that have gone into that property. I didn't expect 9 to 5, but I didn't expect 7 to midnight either.
Right.
So
that's fair.
Just the amount of hours that we are both there at times.
So let me lean into that a little bit.
Okay.
So, because you guys have a family, you have little babies, not babies anymore.
No.
Because how old are your kids?
But young kids. So ages 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Okay. Yeah. There's your 9 to 5. And so with all of these little ones, what is it like trying to do this and still doing a different career as well? And all of that, like what happened?
Well, I love the fact that they were involved, especially in the demo phase. They love coming in, taking a hammer to a wall, pulling staples out of the ground, running things to the bin for me. So whenever there was something there for them that I thought they could handle, I loved having them there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is a challenge too, because there are times when they can't be there. When you're spraying and painting a house, they can't be running around. So childcare was somewhat of an issue for us.
We were lucky, like we have family here in town, and so we were and some friends as well that were incredible at taking our kids when we both needed to be at the property. But it was a juggling act for us because we're at a stage where our kids still really need us. You know, our little 5-year-old, she still really needs us to be mom and dad hanging around, and that's great, and that's normal and healthy, and we love that. But at the same time, we felt very pulled in all directions and stretched thin to be wanting to be getting this house done and still taking our kids for bike rides. So, I think the fact that it was summertime and they weren't in school. So, and just the pandemic in the waves, we didn't want our kids to be out and about at different activities and events. So that was the strain, was the juggling act between, okay, you work the morning, you come home, we'll switch, you take the kids, you do dinner, I'll go back, I'll work till 2 a.m, and then I'll come home, and then you're back at the house at 8. Yeah. So that has been, especially in the last 2 months, has been our crazy reality. Yeah. And it's been a little crazy.
It's a little crazy. And that's fair. And I guess a good question then is, how would you do it differently? Because I'm assuming this isn't going to be your last one. I feel like not. You've gotten the bug.
No, for sure.
And for those of you that are watching, you might have seen some B-roll already of some of the construction and work and before after photos, whatever. But we're putting it on the market. It's going to go on the market in the next week or two, and we're early September here. And so if you're watching and you want to see what they did, what's the address?
And it is a beautiful house.
6207 84th Street Northwest.
6207 84th Street Northwest.
In the community of Silver Springs.
Of Silver Springs, yeah. And it's in the work that you guys have done. I mean, I've been in a lot of houses and I've seen a lot of flips,
right?
And this isn't one of those flips, and you can tell the man hours that you put into it, and it's incredible. And so, and the quality is there, everything, like, it's just beautiful. And I think the thing is how would you do it differently if you were going to do it again, or when you do it again? How would you do it differently? Because someone out there might be watching this and is thinking, I did one 5 years ago and I just swore I'd never do one again.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're like, I want to do it too, but what can I learn from you?
Right.
in trying to make it better?
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. In the sense of,
There should be like a Yoda little.
bringing in trades. That's definitely one thing. More manpower.
Yeah.
Having a bigger crew.
It's going to cost you more up front, but your time that you're going to save on the back end, I can definitely see that paying off. So in the future, when I decide to move all the plumbing in a house, I will bring in a plumber.
That's fair. Well, because you have to look at it and say, what is your time worth?
Yeah, exactly.
And how much is that worth to you with your kids and your life and everything else,
That's
right?
totally what it
and
is.
if it's paying somebody else, I don't know.
Yeah.
What, $30-$40 an hour to do something like that? That's
It's
worth it.
There's value in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Paul learned a ton.
Yeah, I wanted the experience. I will say I did want the experience of trying to do it. But that's what I've learned from it.
And it's done well, and it's designed well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we'd take anything away from where we placed certain things, like the new bathroom or the laundry or anything like that. None of that would change. It was just a matter of, Paul can do it, but it doesn't mean he should do it.
Yeah.
He could be focusing on doing the cabinetry or something else.
Yeah.
So, but it was a really good learning experience.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because when you're going and doing it yourself, everything is linear. There's no stacked effort.
Exactly.
So there's no 2 or 3 people working on something at the same time. And that's probably also why your timeline changed,
Totally
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess a good question is, like, how long does it take to flip a house? And so your expectation was...
So my
4 months.
initial expectation was 4 months. And then when I got into the house and I realized how much we were moving and changing once we finalized our design, because we had a good design idea, but it's different once you're in the space and you're starting to do demo and you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So then right away I tacked on a month, just being like, I just know there's going to be something that's going to come up with all this change that we're doing. And here we are, a month and a half past that. I think we thought 4 months, and we're going to be probably around 6. So
if you were to do it again with a crew, what would you expect that timeline to be like?
With the crew, definitely we could easily shave off a month.
Yeah.
I think it would have been longer than we expected in the
Still,
initial.
yeah.
Still.
Yeah, I think so.
But
there were some unknowns too.
Yeah.
We were putting in new windows. We were changing windows, taking some out. So we weren't quite sure how we were going to tackle the exterior part of the project. And then once the decision was made to put the new vinyl siding up around it, that too in itself took a long time. Well, because of COVID, there was shortage on material as well. So just things come up that you can't anticipate for.
No.
So,
well, that's what I was going to ask is because it's a COVID time, what changed? So one was just some material shortages. What else was
cost, material cost.
Yeah.
that lumber shoot up. Holy smokes, that
So-
I'm sure.
So how did you adjust? How did you figure out your budgets and do that?
We just
made
kept
it
on
work.
going.
Yeah.
I had done a project. So we bought this house in March. I had done a project in December where I had to buy 30, 40 sheets of plywood, and they were $22 a sheet. Those exact same sheets were now upwards to $60, $70.
Cool.
And it was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so on this project in particular, we had to redo all the subfloor. And so that was just a cost that we hadn't anticipated.
Yeah.
And it was just...
And you really wouldn't know going in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless
Not
you're doing
till
a
you pull it
really
up.
thorough inspection. But
Yeah.
So that was just something we had to take into account right off the hop, because that was just part of demo. And once we tore the carpet up, and it was like, okay, we're going to be redoing all the subfloors here. So...
Yeah.
And we were really lucky too, because we did have a support person that was like helping us out as Paul's dad. And Jim was our runner. And
Yeah.
so
Oh,
he
nice.
has done a lot of stuff. So we found cheaper subfloor in Red Deer.
Oh, really?
And Jim went up and drove
Crazy.
up with his truck and
Yeah.
did 2 trips to Red Deer for us. So I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
that kind of thing we're very grateful and thankful
Yeah.
for. Because
And I guess with that price change, even gas, like it still would
Yeah.
have been cheaper
it was
than doing that.
to go
right?
all the way to Red Deer from
Yeah.
Calgary. Yeah.
Crazy.
So
But we had about a 20% of overage we were counting on in our
Smart.
budget. So
Where did you learn that? Where did you hear that? Or is it just something you learned over the
Paul
years?
knew from the industry. I
just
think.
being in the industry, just seeing other homeowners make the same mistake,
Yeah.
being a part of other homeowners' projects and them not understanding the cost of a 7-inch wide engineered floor.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's the look they want. And then when they find out how much that costs, it's like, well, that's over our budget.
Like $13 a square foot.
And then they go with it.
They did.
So,
That's an inside joke. It's all good.
so just experiencing that through other people, I just knew there was going to be things that I didn't see coming up. And I just wanted to have that cushion.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who's thinking of house flipping should always
Have a cushion.
budget in a
Oh,
cushion,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you just never know.
You don't know.
You don't know that lumber's going to be 4 times the cost.
No.
Yeah.
So you
And,
just,
and that's something out of your control. Like even if there's things within your control, and you think you're in control, but
Yeah.
as soon as you open the wall,
yep. And
Oh.
things change.
Yeah.
that wasn't supposed to be there.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden it's totally different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. So, so what is it that you want to relay to the potential buyer of this house? Like, we didn't talk about this before, but it would be interesting to hear because I think you guys are putting a lot more emotion and a lot more effort than a lot of other people who would flip a house would. And there's probably something sitting underneath you that you're like, I hope they get to enjoy this, or I hope that they do this because we thought of this. Like, what are some of those things that you want the next buyer, the buyer of this place, to hear from the people who built it?
Yeah. I think for us, you know, we've started this House of Jewel Instagram page to have people kind of follow along with our story, because we really do love this. We love it. We love the creation of smart spaces that we think, you know, families will use and utilize. And even our kids, you know, we want to teach them this value of hard work, and they have watched us pour our hearts and soul into this property. So I hope that's what comes across. As hard as that is to say to a buyer, this house has been made with so much love and intention and smart design. And, you know, we'll be in the house and our 9-year-old will say to us like, oh, Mom, can you imagine Christmas in this house? Like we've started living there emotionally for the next family because the space, the flow, the energy of this house just works so well.
Yeah.
And we could see us in there. And I think even we've done so much custom cabinetry in that house because our house has that and we value it.
Yeah.
And we feel like other people will see that smart storage, that custom cabinetry that fits the space so
And
well.
it's gorgeous.
And they'll just enjoy it. And it makes their lives easier because then you can organize your stuff better. Your kids' rooms will be more organized because there is a desk in.
Yeah.
Even living through the pandemic with our kids and having built-in desks in their rooms when they had to do homeschooling, I mean, we wanted to give that to the buyer. We wanted to give that to this next family or professionals that are going to be in this place to have a beautiful office because we all know home offices are so valuable right now. So I think that's what we hope that these next buyers get is just a really functional, beautiful home that is designed well. So
Yeah.
that's our
Well,
hope.
and for those watching, it's at House of Jewel, Jewell, right?
House of Jewel 5, because there's 5 of us.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Jackson 5.
It
but
is,
totally
kind of,
not.
but not
Not
musical.
at all. It's just hammers and
I won't be
fun
singing.
shot.
Yeah, no singing.
Oh, I didn't tell you about that part of this.
The concert.
No, the concert, yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you guys sharing your story. Now, what if someone is watching this and is saying, I want to flip a house. I've always wanted to do it. What is some advice you would give to someone to say, I mean, you said you shouldn't always do everything, but what is some advice that each of you would give? Because you're going to have different advice. What would you give somebody advice in saying, this is like,
If this is something you want to do, you got to be 100% committed.
Yeah.
Don't do it if it's not a passion.
Yeah.
Almost.
It takes a lot.
It does. There's a lot that goes into it. And for me, it's not just about the money, but I love the process. I love, just like you said, just giving people something that's going to make sense.
Yeah.
And have a team. Have someone that you can call. I mean, yes, I did a lot of the work myself, but I still had people that I could call and ask for advice. Hey, what would you do here?
Totally.
How would you do this?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even just someone to vent to.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably,
Yeah.
and it's hard. I mean, venting to each other, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's
that's
a
not
good thing we
simple.
have each other, and it's a good thing we work so well together.
Yeah. And I couldn't do this, or we couldn't do this if we weren't on the same page with this
Absolutely.
project. So
Yeah.
just having, if you're married, having your spouse on board definitely is key.
Key.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything from you?
Yeah, I would say even just generally in terms of just life in general, we had this dream and it was a risk.
Yeah.
We bought this place between Christmas and New Year's last year when the market was kind of flat.
Yeah.
We were in the midst of the pandemic and we didn't really know what real estate was going to do in the new year. Yeah. And yes, the real estate market sort of took off in 2021, but that wasn't a guarantee. There's no crystal ball. But at the same time, we looked at this as our dream. Yeah. And I think at some point in life, if you don't leap, make a calculated leap. But if you don't leap, if you never try, you'll never know if you could have made it. And this has been a passion of ours. We've been so passionate. We couldn't have done this without each other, especially all the like childcare juggling. Yeah. You don't want to get resentful about what each person is having to do or sacrificing, but we did it as a team. And I feel like we came out stronger. And I just think like, if you have a dream, if you have something that you really want to try, at some point you got to just risk it and go for the dream.
You don't want to live with the what ifs.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Well, it was interesting. I was listening to a podcast or something this past week, and they were talking about that. Like, you know, I think actually it's Yoda or whatever. It's like, there is no try, there's only do, or something like that.
Do or do not, there is no try.
Yeah, that too. Sorry, we should get you on camera with that. No, just kidding. But what the guy was saying, he's like, actually, trying is better than doing, because you actually can't do it unless you try, and you really should try, and that's more important. And so I think if anything, you guys have shown your kids how to try, and you've shown your family and you've shown your friends, and it's like, hey, you guys are trying and you're doing it. I mean, you're in the middle of it still. Like, it's still messy. Like, this isn't like this clean little box that's all done.
Yeah. And there's risk, but at the end of it, man, it's going to be a nice looking house.
It is already. Even half painted or whatever is a nice looking house. So this is awesome. I appreciate you guys coming in and taking time. I know time is valuable right now. But if you're in the market and you're looking for a house in, what's the address again?
6207 84th Street.
There it is. Northwest. Good house. Coming on the market. And what size is it? Like, maybe just quickly talk about the house itself.
It's approximately 1,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms up, 2.5 bathrooms.
Beautiful basement with a...
Yeah, everything's been touched. Like
everything's new. It's a brand new house, pretty much.
Like electrical, plumbing, everything. Like, it's all been redone.
All the windows have been redone. It is silent inside. We even found it just so energy efficient compared to our own house that the windows done. It was amazing how cool it was in the summer.
I was there when it was whatever, 28, 32 outside, and you and I were there, and it's like...
And it's so nice.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's got a half-court basketball court in the backyard.
That's right.
It's a beautiful lot. So it is a house for anyone, really.
Yeah.
If you're downsizing, if you're upsizing, a family, professionals, it's a great house. Yeah.
Cool. Well, there you have it, everybody. And if you're in the market, check them out. If you're on Instagram, go to House of Jewel 5 and follow them. Follow their story. Go give some likes. They're going to probably be sharing this video there, a whole bunch of other things. And as it comes on the market, a lot of the photography and all the good stuff. So I'm excited to watch your next one.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Me too.
Take some time.
We need a vacation.
Take some time. Take a vacation. Did you guys promise your kids you would go somewhere?
Sure did.
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
We're going to head out to the mountains, I think, for some
Nice.
time away so that they can swim in a swimming pool. And
Yeah.
That's important.
Just have some
Exactly.
family time.
Yeah.
Because
That's
we've
nice.
all sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Well, there you go. So if you're thinking of flipping a house, hopefully there was some value here. And if you're thinking of buying a house that's been flipped, hopefully you found a house here. So all that to say, you guys have done a wonderful job, and I appreciate you taking the time, like I already said, to come here. And if you have any questions or comments, even for us or me or for them, put them in the comments below, whether this is on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you see it. Put in the comments, and if it's a question for them about flipping, I'll make sure to tag you guys, and let's see how we can help others. So on that note, have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you.